This is North Korea's Monster missile, which is the world's largest intercontinental ballistic missile. North Korea launched 80 of these missiles in the last year alone, costing $70 million, making the world feel that launching missiles has become Kim Jong-un's favorite entertainment. Yes, $70 million. And look at this. This is North Korea's capital, Pyongyang, where Kim Jong-un recently inaugurated 10,000 modern homes. And not just that, by 2025, this number is expected to reach 50,000. But where is all this money coming from? What if I tell you North Korea is becoming rich from using keyboards? But recently, the government has given North Koreans the task of donating their pet dogs to restaurants to alleviate hunger. On one side, where the people of North Korea are dying of hunger, on the other side, Kim Jong-un is conducting missile tests. So the question is quite simple. How can North Korea afford these missile tests when major world economies are struggling? Because on the 30th of November 2016, the United Nations imposed sanctions on North Korea, covering various aspects including trade. Then, how is North Korea managing such a huge amount of resources? Has it discovered a treasure that enables it to engage in these activities? How does North Korea operate? Look, this is North Korea, bordered by South Korea on one side, China on another, and with a small border connecting to Russia. Its remaining sides are surrounded by the sea. For the past 70 years, North Korea has stood as one of the most impoverished, heavily sanctioned, and isolated countries globally. Its economy, devoid of significant exports, has remained largely disconnected from the rest of the world. Despite enduring decades of sanctions, in the early months of 2023, North Korea held grand-scale meetings, groundbreaking ceremonies, and released propaganda to the world, with a strong overriding message: North Korea's people will never starve again. But North Korea watchers say the country is in the midst of a food crisis. I mean, we've been hearing about shortages of food in North Korea since for over 2 years now. In 2019, United Nations Food Security Assessment said that North Korea recorded its worst harvest in a decade. Over 40% of the reclusive state's population was estimated to be food insecure and in need of urgent food assistance. The GDP of the North is around $20 to $30 billion. And you can compare this with Elon Musk, whose individual net worth is more than $200 billion, meaning Elon Musk's net worth is approximately more than 10 times the GDP of North Korea. Despite the reported GDP of $20 to $30 billion on paper, North Korea appears to be much wealthier in reality. The common people of North Korea, no matter how bad their circumstances may be, even to the point of struggling for basic sustenance, the government there is incredibly wealthy. The elite in the country indulges in luxury items like Western cars, yachts, and high-end gadgets. Moreover, North Korea manages to fund an exceptionally expensive nuclear weapons program. The question arises, how is this possible? North Korea's isolation has reached such an extent that as of today, they have no foreign reserves left. However, Kim Jong seems unfazed by this and has come up with another idea. Riding on this idea, North Korea's entire nuclear program has become funded and sponsored. Let me tell you, in 2016, there was a massive theft in Japan, but not the way you might be imagining it. Some people had Japanese bank ATM cards, and they went to various ATMs, withdrawing small amounts. By repeating this process at different ATMs for 3 hours, they managed to withdraw 1.4 billion yen, which is roughly around 13 million USD. This incident happened in 2016. This is not the only such case in Japan. On February 4th, 2016, a Thursday, an unexpected incident occurred in Bangladesh. The printer in the Central Bank of Bangladesh, located on the 10th floor, was suddenly found to be malfunctioning. Neither was there any spare printer, nor was it stored in any other building. Access to the 10th floor was restricted, allowing only authorized personnel and special individuals. However, the malfunctioning printer was not taken seriously by officials that Thursday, as the next day was Friday, followed by the weekend. Upon their return from the holiday, bank officials realized the severity of the situation. When they reactivated the printer, it was discovered that the $100 million in Bangladesh's account at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York had vanished. This information was kept confidential to prevent a major scandal from unfolding. The investigation revealed that the cyber attack occurred on Thursday night at 8 p.m. when Bangladeshi bank employees had already left for home. The attack was orchestrated by a person named Russell Alam, who had previously worked at the Bangladesh bank and had inside information. Razzle introduced a virus that gradually took control of the entire bank server. This unauthorized access allowed him to manipulate transactions and create fake documents with the help of the largest subscribers and official documents. The scheme began a year earlier in 2015, when Razzle Alam, a former employee, claimed that he was wrongfully terminated, blaming a virus that no one paid attention to. Slowly, he gained control over the entire bank server. After depositing some money, he left, clearing the bank's debt of $251 million. The world's major banks use a system called SWIFT, Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication. Alam had access to this system, and bank employees in New York were unaware of the transactions as they were on vacation. The investigation traced the remaining funds to the Philippines. To retrieve the money, a court order was required, but obtaining a court order proved challenging. Eventually, the court order was secured, leading to global awareness of the situation. It was revealed that $81 million was transferred to a Sri Lankan charity account, but a spelling mistake caused the transaction to be halted. The remaining $34 million was sent to Macau, China, where it was traced. The investigation found that Alam had connections with North Korea and had previously attempted to bring counterfeit $100 bills to the country in 2009. Bangladesh faced difficulties in retrieving the remaining funds, and the investigation stalled when Wang, a person associated with the Chinese bank in Macau, handled the remaining $34 million. The Bangladeshi government blacklisted the bank when they learned about this, but by then, a significant portion of the money had turned into black money. Ultimately, $65 million from Bangladesh remains missing to this day. One surprising fact about North Korea is that women earn more than men there. The income generated by women supports 70% of the family expenses. Now, how these women earn their income is a detailed matter, but we won't go into much detail. Mostly, the work is illegal. Now, speaking of men, the best job for them is to become a permanent soldier in the military or work in a government position, where they are paid around $3 to $4 per month. However, most people who work in factories and fields face even more challenging conditions, where they are paid only $1 or 50 cents after working for the whole month. North Korea's labor law, according to Article 22, requires people to work for 6 days a week and 8 hours a day, with holidays and week-offs. However, being a communist country, North Korea does not adhere to its own rules. People working for companies or farms have to work for more than 12 hours a day, and there is no guarantee of weekends. One North Korean soldier who escaped mentioned that he still remembers being given 30% soybean soup with a bowl of 30% rice and 70% corn flour in a bowl every day. Of course, people did not like this, so they bought things from the black market to supplement their diet. North Korea does not adhere to government job and military service terms for a long time. For men, the retirement age is 60, and for women, it is 55. After retirement, they are given 30% of their last salary by the North Korean government. According to the United Nations, every person needs a minimum of 600 grams of average daily food for survival. However, North Korea provides people with an average of 400 grams per day on the ration card, reduced to an average of 300 grams due to crop shortages in 2019. Due to this limited food supply, the majority of the population in North Korea, mostly poor people, consume insects, rodents, and even tree roots for survival. After extensively pilfering funds from Japan and Bangladesh, North Korea's self-operated hacking team is eventually exposed to the world after a considerable period of time. Also, North Korea has a secret military academy hidden amidst its mountains. Its specialty is electronic warfare and direct manipulation of the Microsoft operating system. Dangerous computer viruses, manufacturing techniques, and hacking ATMs are all part of the special skills training that North Korea is providing to its army students. Every year, 100 cyber soldiers graduate from this academy, joining North Korea's highly specialized hacking army. Essentially, North Korea has become a bank robber with just a keyboard. This illegal idea is tucked away between the mountains of North Korea. Now, their business model is funding their entire nuclear program. However, there are other ways for North Korea to fulfill its nuclear ambitions. And again, none of it is legal. In 2003, a small and anonymous country, Tuvalu, raised its flag on a cargo ship slowly approaching Australia. In that large ship, only 30 people were on board with a plan. The plan was to smuggle 125 kilograms of heroin worth $100 million. North Korea had infiltrated the drug trade between 2010 to 2021 successfully. In another case, a company from Singapore, hundreds of millions of dollars, and Vietnam's NFT video game company were hacked. They stole a plethora of cryptocurrencies and delisted it. It turned out to be so profitable for them that North Korea earned $400 million from hacking in 2012 to 2022. This figure doubled in just the first 5 months, reaching $840 million. And today, this is their business model, which is financing their entire nuclear program. But North Korea has more tricks up its sleeve. It is changing its nuclear ambassador again and again. In 2004, a Panamanian-flagged ship in the Atlantic Ocean was selling a container full of counterfeit notes, but only on the surface, because inside were found stacks of fake notes in denominations of $100 bills. These highly accurate fake notes were made in North Korea and served as a source of income for them through cryptocurrency theft between 2010 and 2021. Due to sanctions, North Korea is banned from legally exporting arms. However, it still secretly exports small arms illegally, making good money. For them, this is a perfect market in the unstable nations of the Middle East and Africa, where armed conflicts are always ongoing. In 1980, North Korea exported arms worth $4 billion, which is a quarter of its total exports. As we have seen, North Korea also smuggles drugs. Interestingly, drugs are part of their common culture. They smuggle drugs to Japan, China, Southeast Asia, and Australia, making money. Finally, even after selling all these, if the money is not enough, simply make money yourself. North Korea has created a dedicated organization called Room 39, which does exactly that. The job of Room 39 is to produce counterfeit notes that look exactly like real dollars. These fake notes are so precise that they use the same paper and high-tech color-shifting ink found in actual dollars. After creating these fake notes, Room 39 circulates them internationally. This is Yeonmi Park, who successfully escaped from North Korea. She reveals that her mother was sold in China for less than $100, and she herself was sold in China for less than $300 because she was a virgin at that time. North Korea earns billions of dollars annually through human trafficking alone. Here is something you might be thinking. How did this girl, Yeonmi Park, manage to escape North Korea? Because it is the most isolated place in the world, and anyone who even thinks of escaping is killed. Then how did Yeonmi Park manage to escape North Korea? I have made another video analyzing this, and after watching this video, I hope you will also watch it. Now let's get back to our topic. North Korea is the only country that earns money by selling its own citizens. Today, North Korea has 2.6 million modern slaves, who are forced to work in construction projects in other countries after being deported there. They are continuously exploited in poor conditions, and their wages are directly sent back to North Korea. You must have already gathered from all these things that North Korea is becoming so rich. Yes, the people there are poor, but the dictator of North Korea is very wealthy. Now that we know how he becomes so rich, let's understand where he spends his money. It's essential for us to know this quickly. This is because it is believed that he is forced to engage in activities such as stealing from banks, dealing with drugs, and selling illegal weapons in order to sustain his wealth. Military muscle. The first and most significant drain on North Korea's coffers is its formidable military. Estimates suggest Pyongyang spends between 20% and 25% of its GDP on its armed forces, a disproportionately high figure compared to the global average. This translates to funding for an active army of over 1 million, a vast reserve force, and a nuclear weapons program that continues to defy international pressure. These expenditures go beyond just soldiers and missiles. They encompass research and development, cyber warfare capabilities, and a vast network of underground military facilities. Maintaining the Kim dynasty. Beyond external threats, the regime prioritizes internal stability. A significant portion of the budget goes towards maintaining the control of the Kim family's grip on power. This includes funding for propaganda campaigns that glorify the leadership and lavish perks for the elite inner circle. Ensuring loyalty and suppressing dissent, particularly in the wake of economic hardship, is critical for the regime's survival. Economic experiments. While heavily centralized, North Korea has embraced certain market-oriented reforms in recent years, most notably the development of Jangmadang, private markets where goods and services are traded independently. This shift suggests a recognition of the limitations of the old, centrally planned system. However, these measures seem more about bolstering the regime's control than empowering the populace. Profits often flow back to the state, and access to these markets is restricted, further widening the gap between the elite and ordinary citizens. Living on the margins. While the regime prioritizes military and elite comfort, the vast majority of North Koreans struggle to meet basic needs. Official spending on healthcare, education, and social welfare is limited, leading to widespread poverty and malnutrition. Beyond borders, North Korea also utilizes various unconventional methods to generate revenue. Illegal activities like counterfeiting, cybercrime, and the sale of narcotics provide illicit funds. Additionally, Pyongyang engages in arms trade with sanctioned countries, further fueling geopolitical tensions. These covert operations, while providing financial relief, come at a steep cost, further isolating the regime and drawing international condemnation. In conclusion, North Korea's spending reflects a regime obsessed with self-preservation. Its priorities lie in maintaining internal control, projecting military might, and enriching the elite, often at the expense of its own people's well-being. Understanding these financial flows unveils the inner workings of a complex and isolated state.